My name is Richard Packard. I'm from the United Kingdom. I've been asked to introduce this video, my first baby steps towards achieving surgical finesse. It describes a journey by a surgeon in training from learning extracapsular surgery through to her doing her first solo phacoemulsification, which according to her, it's beginner's luck that it all goes very well. And then trouble starts and she learns about all the complications which can be associated with this procedure. Having had a surgical disaster, as she described it, with a nucleus drop, she realizes that in order to become a better surgeon, she needs to observe more closely what her trainers actually do by way of the ergonomics of the operation. Having achieved this, she then gives us a series of different steps and learning points that she has felt were important in her training process. This leads her to the stage where she feels she's achieved surgical finesse, but also reminds us that this is only a step along the way to becoming the perfect surgeon that she wishes to be.
Becoming a phaco-surgeon wasn't an overnight journey. I had wonderful teachers and excellent phaco-surgeons to emulate. In the beginning, it appeared so easy. I expected to transition into a butterfly from a caterpillar in a day. How wrong I was. As a trainee, I began with conventional extracapsular cataract extraction. I slowly transitioned to a modified technique of ECCE that was similar to small incision cataract surgery. The self-sealing tunnel was similar to SICS but retained the 8 mm length from the ECCE surgery. The technique gave the surgeon a well-maintained anterior chamber throughout the surgery. At the end, 3 interrupted 10-0 nylon sutures were taken to close the wound. It gave good visual outcomes with a lower postoperative astigmatism. I was told that to master a fine sutureless surgery, I should perfect my suturing skills. This technique propelled me towards a good SICS. But that wasn't enough for me. My hands itched to embark on the phaco journey. Finally, the D-Day arrived and I did my first phaco. It took me almost 40 minutes with trenching and a 4-quadrant chop. I felt elated, as if I had conquered the world. But my joy was short-lived. I realized that there was some component of beginner's luck involved. The first fairly perfect phaco surgery was followed by a string of not so perfect ones. And then the complications started. In the 4-quadrant chop technique, my trenches weren't deep enough for a clean crack. Repeated burying led to an increased effective phaco time. I wasn't loading the intraocular lens properly in the cartridge. Improper tucking of the haptics led to a resistance while injecting the IOL, and the fragile lens tore inside the eye. There was inadequate vacuum built up during fragment aspiration. The bevel was oriented wrongly and the phaco-dynamics were off. Repeated burying would lead to a crater formation. And furthermore, the size of the rhexis was inconsistent. A smaller rhexis led to a difficult phaco and late capsular contraction. then I faced my nightmare. I had a nucleus drop. I was paralyzed. I didn't want to touch the phaco probe again. But my better sense prevailed. So what did I do? First and foremost, I married a vitreoretinal surgeon. Then I got my foundation strong. I read books on phaco-dynamics and fluidics and studied the technique of phaco in and out. And then most important of all, I kept my eyes and ears open. Slowly I evolved from the newborn that I was. I saw my teachers operate every day. How they held the probe, where they kept their hands, and what were the fluidics like. Watching these talented surgeons operate reiterated the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day. My expectations and reality were far apart. I wish to share the pearls of wisdom that were handed over to me by my teachers to those who are learning phaco and taking their own baby steps. A slow, steady hydrodissection is the key. Tip the cannula after the fluid wave has passed and then rotate the nucleus to judge its density. Rotating the bevel of the probe inwards helps to increase the area of impact and aids in a cleaner break. Adequate vacuum and proper fluidics is the essence of direct chop. Position the chopper and the phaco probe opposite each other. Bury the probe at the sweet spot of the nucleus, and once the occlusion is achieved, then bring the two instruments towards each other. Inward and lateral movement is the key. Rocking the probe back and forth also helps in faster aspiration. Mechanical chop is a blessing in soft cataracts. In this technique, no vacuum or phaco power is used. The probe simply acts like a mechanical guide in chopping. Movement of the instruments is the same as in direct chop. In cases of decentered intraocular lens, due to haptic break or otherwise, this is a great way to center your intraocular lenses. Go with your irrigating probe under the lens and tuck it into the rhexis margin while swiftly coming out. In difficult cases like the posterior polar cataracts, where a hydrodissection is not done, dealing with the epinucleus becomes very important. A blunt chopper can go beyond the epinucleus sheet and bring it towards your probe for aspiration. Finally, my training was complete. It taught me that no two eyes are the same and that there is no easy formula. Armed with my newly acquired skills, I was ready to take on the world. Having said that, learning and achieving finesse is an ongoing process, and with each passing day, I hope to come closer and closer to it.